tell. Yep. Looks good. Yep. All right. Getting the old tripod set up there. All right, guys. We're going to start from the beginning. I get these vacuum sealed baby back ribs. What you're definitely going to want to start with is I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. Best you can buy are baby back ribs because they got the most meat on them. So it's what you're going to want to do yourself a favor and buy the baby back ribs. I mean, look at the meat on that there. Sure, my camera's picking that up. Look at the meat on that, guys. I mean, that's what you want. You want some meat. So these are nothing special. My beautiful bride picked these up. These are Farmer John. I don't even know if I've ever used these before, honestly. But, you know, doesn't really matter as long as they're baby back. And I prefer the vacuum sealed ones like I showed here. They're just a lot less mess, for one thing. Get this trash can to stay open. And, you know, just a lot more convenient. I don't think they cost any more than the vacuum sealed ones, and they probably last a lot longer. I don't know if you guys use one of those seal things where you can, you know, seal your own goods. But I've wanted one of those for years. But I don't know, get turned down by the better half, I guess. But, you know, I kind of see her point. It's just the two of us. But, you know, if you got any kind of a family, just if it's three of you, husband, wife, and one kid, I think it's probably definitely worth investing in those seal gadgets where you can take your meats and things and throw them in a piece of plastic and seal them up. Definitely will make your meats fresher and last a lot longer. So we're going to rinse these off. And then the first step is we are going to remove what they call the membrane. And a lot of people don't even know that it exists, which is just crazy to me. But hey, if you don't know, you don't know. We all got to learn, right? But that is going to definitely help you get the flavor into the meat, which is what we want. Oh, I should have got me a cutting board over here set up. Rinse my hands off here real quick. Quick rinse. Get me a big cutting board so I can lay these down. Let's go with this guy. Alright. Let's see, you guys can see that, right? Alright, we got a couple people in here, looks like. Thanks for showing up. You want a rib recipe? I'm going to tell you here and right now. I always get compliments on my ribs. And I'm going to let the secret out today. It's not very hard at all to make good ribs. It just takes a little bit of time And we're talking maybe, I'm gonna say 6-7 hours. You can pull it off. And the meat will just literally fall off the bone and tender as it gets. So I'm using Sweet Baby Ray's. Sweet Baby Ray's, I think, is a good all-around good barbecue sauce. I usually do use that. I didn't just get it for the video. You know, I've played around with different sauces, but you know, barbecue sauce is barbecue sauce. You guys can pick and choose your own barbecue sauce. You don't have to use Sweet Baby Ray's, or you know, they make different varieties of Sweet Baby Ray's. So they got a hot and spicy. They've got a, you know, I think there's like a sweet and sour type of recipe they have, and so on. So whatever brand floats your boat, in other words. So what we're going to do here, guys, is this is called a membrane. And if you can see, I'm just going to go right in here. And it's a little tough to get started. You have to get down in there. And it's basically a lining inside the lung. You know, the ribs are the section of the lung. So we're going to get down in there with our chef's knife. Once I get it started, I'll show you guys what we're looking for. It'll come off extremely easy. It takes a little time. The beginning of Dead Miracle. You definitely want to remove this. And I see a lot of people do ribs and they don't remove it. So something you definitely want to do if you want to cook good ribs. So there you go. You can see it's starting to peel. Once you get it started there, it should start working with us. And once you get it started, you can just use your fingers, guys. Just easier to just get in there. Alright, now we've got it started. See? So I want to show that. That's the membrane. So you definitely want to pull that out of there. This is going to get your flavor down into the meat and get rid of a lot of the fat. You know, if we're going to do ribs, we're going to do them right. And we want a little fat in there for flavor. But, you know, I don't know about you, but I'm not huge on just eating gristle, as they call it. And that's another, you know, positive to the way that I do my ribs. There virtually pretty much isn't any fat at all when I'm finished, and I'll show you why here in a little bit. When I do it, we're going to boil this stuff out, and then we're going to go to the grill. So now we've got our fat inside the ribs here, and we can just kind of go in there and trim it up a little bit, you know, here and there. You guys can spend as much time on this as you want. But, you know, I just like taking a little bit out. We don't want a lot of fat, but we still want some fat in there for flavor. So I just kind of take the chef's knife in there and just, you know, cut out a few blotches here and there where it's laying in there thick. So we got a nice little chunk there. But we're going to leave, you know, not get too crazy with it because we want it for flavor. So we're just going to take a little bit out to, you know, get rid of some of that fat. A big chunk there on the end. We're going to trim that up. And that one is ready to cut up. We could flip it, get a little bit of this chunk of fat off here on the edge. But most of this stuff is just going to boil off anyway, guys. All right, that one there is ready. We're going to do a flip. I usually do 3 at a time. And where I get them is at Costco. If you got a Costco membership, they sell them in 3-packs that are vacuum sealed. So we just kind of did this on the fly. So my beautiful bride just picked me up some ribs because she knew I told you guys we were going to do this. And in particular, I told Nina, hopefully you're in the chat there, Nina. I seen you do your ribs there last week. I guess it was about a week ago. But so much work. Girl, you put some work into that. And I bet they were awesome. There's our membrane. We're peeling that right off. Let's say once we get it started, we can kind of go in there with our hands. It's slippery and slimy. That's the hardest thing. It's not real physical. It's just getting a hold of it. And then it'll pull out of there. So there's our membrane, guys. We want to get that out of there. Seen so many people cook ribs and leave the membrane in there. That's a big, huge no-no. You're not going to get that flavor into your meat with leaving that membrane in there. Just isn't going to happen. And here we are again, just cutting off some of the bigger chunks of fat. Not a lot of effort, just kind of come down the actual rib bones. You know, just move your chef's knife back and forth a little bit, almost like a vibration. You know, yeah, I'm cutting towards myself there. But, you know, I've cooked for so many years. You guys could do it the opposite direction. I'm not gonna be your dad. Tell you which way to cut your fat off. Do your thing. You've been living all these years, so I'm sure you'll make it. All right. Got one more chunk there. Let's get that one. And then we'll flip. Wow, these are big racks of ribs. They're awesome. And we got a little there. I'd like to get a chunk of that fat out of there. Now let's get some off of this top section. Some of that out of there. I'm curious who's in the chat. I'm over here slaving for you guys. So I was thinking about doing a part 2 of this. And it'll be basically, like I said earlier, you know, probably like a 5-6 hour process in between where we get going here. I'll get these going, and then I can come back in 5-6 hours, or just tell you guys what to do. So you guys can leave that in the chat. You just want me to tell you the rest of the ordeal, which isn't much, but you know, I guess you guys can see the final progress of it. All right, now I'm gonna, let's just leave them that way. I can feel them. They look better that way, don't they? So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to cut these ribs up, guys. Find those bones. Where are you at, Mr. Bone? There's one. There he is. He just doesn't want to cut there on the end. There he is. All right. This is where this is going to go, guys. Right into the crock pot. That's it. There's the big secret. If you want tender ribs, cut them up like this. Throw them in the crock pot. I'm going to flip this. I think it's just going to make it easier on me. Why fight it, right? We can see the ribs over here. You're going to want to put them into a crock pot and slow cook them, guys, for, you know, about 5-6 hours. You don't want, you know, them to be so cooked that they're going to, you know, the meat's going to fall off the bone, literally, where you're, you know, making pulled pork, like with a pot roast or something. But you do want them nice and tender. And I've done this for a lot of years, and people just flip literally head over heels when they have my ribs. And they're just, you know, how do you make them so tender? And, you know, there's just little to no fat on them at all. It's just all meat. So, you know, we're going to put them in there, cook them about 5 to 6 hours, depending on, you know, how many ribs you got. You got altitudes, you know, that's going to have an effect and things like that as well. You know, use your own judgment. You want them before you cut, or before the meat is completely falling off the bone, guys. That's where you want them. And then you're going to pull them out the crock pot, and then you're going to go to the grill. So that would basically be the part 2. Like I say, almost isn't worth having a part 2 for you guys, but if you guys want a part 2, we'll do a part 2. And I'll show you how these babies turn out. I'll do a part 2 this evening when, you know, I'm pulling them out the crock pot, and then we're going to throw them on the grill. And, you know, you guys will be able to see the final product when we take them out there and just char them. Now, you could use charcoal, of course. I usually don't even go through the trouble with that unless it's, you know, a special occasion and, you know, we've got a bunch of people coming over for dinner or something, and I want to really go all out so you can get, you know, some smoke flavor and stuff in them too. Now we got one of them funny bones there again. Come on. The weather is just horrific here today. We, better known as my beautiful bride, it's fun. It's trying to keep the puppy occupied while I do this for you guys. But the weather is just insanity today. It's just, the wind picked up last night and blew all night long. The puppy didn't sleep a wink, and I didn't sleep a wink.
Everything that was on the table is off.
Yeah,
something broke.
Just crazy out there. So I ended up heading to the store bright and early this morning and took the puppy with me, give her a little break from the puppy, and
Slept the whole time.
came back and took a nap on the couch while she was watching the puppy. But the puppy's just been a complete handful. She's not much of a sleeper. She usually goes down for a couple hours and she is back up again, ready to go all night long. This crock pot is tight. Alright, let's get here a little bit of hot water. Oh. Who's in the chat? I can see the TV from here now. Say something in the chat and I'll be able to see over there. Who's in here with us? I got the TV. That's kind of weird being able to see yourself on television. Oh, I see somebody. I can't make out the name from here though. Guess that didn't work as planned. Almost thinking I might do 2 crock pots. Should have went and got the big one. They got stored away. There's only 2 racks, but man, they are meaty. Big racks of ribs for baby backs. Let's get this stuff out of the way here. You guys are looking for a sharp knife that is very affordable. Highly recommend this guy right here. I think you could still get them online, I'm sure. It's called Forever Sharp. Right there. I bought the very first one, I want to say at Kmart. A lot of years ago. I mean, we're talking probably 25 years ago, guys. And it was one of those blue light special things that they used to have. And some guy was up there, you know, advertising these knives, and I think I bought that one there. I think it came with a second, if I recall, and a paring knife. And the paring knife was, you know, typical paring knife, nothing really to brag about. But I tell you, this knife right here, I was going to use it if that chef's knife let me down there, because it will cut through anything. And like cutting tomatoes, if you're cutting tomatoes and having problems slicing them real thin, this Forever Sharp knife will cut a tomato so thin it will blow your mind. And I'm sure they're probably, honestly, like maybe, I'd say maybe 20 bucks if you went online and checked them out. I'm sure they're made in China now. I do know the very first original one that I got was a little better than the ones, because I ordered some more years down the road. Let's get another crock pot, guys. Just picked that thing up the other day off of Amazon. Basically boils eggs. But you can do soft boiled and that kind of thing in them. It'll do omelets and stuff, but I don't know if I'll try the omelets. But I think it'll be great in the van because I won't have to use the propane, which is huge in itself. I can just plug it in now that we've upgraded the van to lithium batteries. Those types of things will definitely come in more handy. Some tongs, that way I won't have to get my mitts all dirty again. Go right into the barbecue stuff over here. Split these up a little bit so we got a little wiggle room. Look at those guys. These are nice ribs. They are just full of meat. I'm amazed for baby back ribs. These things are monsters. They are going to be delicious. So, I don't know, those of you who just joined us, we just chopped these ribs up and we took the membrane off of them. You guys don't know what that is, definitely need to go back to the beginning of this video and see how it's done, what it is, and you know, something you definitely need to do, so you missed an extremely important step with cooking ribs. Alright, that looks about 50-50. Set that in there. So now all we're going to do, guys, this is old Sweet Baby Ray's. Like I said, you can use, you know, your own favorite barbecue sauce. And what I usually do is just get, you know, your normal size barbecue container. What are they, 16 ounce, 18 ounce or whatever, you know, you just your normal size refrigerator barbecue. And it takes about one full bottle for, you know, 2-3 racks like what we've got here. And there's no sense in doing one rack. I'm going to tell you right here and right now, if you do them this way, you're going to kick yourself straight in the butt for doing one rack. Because one rack ain't going to last you 15 minutes. They're going to be gone. So do yourself a favor and do 2 or 3 racks for sure. So from there, I use the 1 cup measurement here. Just kind of eyeball it. You know, I'm going to use filtered water. I'm funny with stuff like that. I use one of these pitcher types in the fridge. And that's about all you need right there, guys. 1 full cup. I don't have the crock pot completely filled up with ribs, but that should be plenty. Dash more ain't gonna hurt you. If you second guessing it, put another dash in there, maybe a cup and a half. I am not even covering the ribs. So, you know, get your water level up maybe 1 inch or something from the top of the ribs, or maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches at the most. Because once these cook, they're going to boil down. All that fat's going to disappear out of there. I'm trying to see myself over there. I had a little bit of lag in there for sure. Well, once these cook down, guys, they're going to, you know, the fat's going to disappear out of there. We're going to cook the fat off, so they're going to drop in level. So as long as you got some kind of water in there, that's pretty much all you need. So you don't need to fill them up over top of the meat, is what I'm trying to tell you. So, you know, 1 inch or 1.5 inches or 2, I'd say at the most, is about where you're going to want. We're going to turn that on high, turn that on high. Now, we could also, let's come over here and get you guys. We could also put some onions in there. I'm not opposed to, more flavor, seasoning, but I'm trying to make this extremely simple for you guys. Let's flip the camera around. Here you are. Extremely simple for you guys. Just barbecue sauce and a crock pot. Make sure you get that membrane off of there. And you're going to cook these about 5 to 6 hours. And right before the meat's just literally falling off the bone, you want them probably an hour before then. You know that they are as tender as they could possibly be. The meat's going to be falling off the bone shortly. That's when you want to take them suckers out of there. Take them out to your grill. Throw them on the grill. About a medium to medium high heat. And you're basically just going to char them. Just throw them on there. And, just paint your barbecue sauce on there. That's what I was going to say to, your barbecue sauce here. I got the big one from Costco or wherever. But usually takes about one, 18 ounce or whatever your normal refrigerator storage type of bottle. I use about half the bottle in the crock pot, and then the other half of the bottle I brush it onto the ribs once you get them on the grill. Excuse me. So, we could throw some onions in the crock pot. We could throw some garlic in there. If you guys wanted to do like a teriyaki style. But, it's not really the seasoning or anything, I guess, is the point I'm trying to make with how I do this. I mean, I'm just using just regular Sweet Baby Ray's. You could buy this stuff probably in just about any 7-Eleven convenience store. Any type of barbecue sauce, any type of seasoning that you choose to your liking will work. It's the method of how I do it is what makes them so killer. So the crock pot, you want to get, all the fat off of them, 5-6 hours in the crock pot, and pull them out of there, throw them on the grill, char them, and then just lather your barbecue sauce on there. So you guys will definitely love them this way. Mandy J is in here. Don't know if you're still in here. Yeah, it's Sunday. I figured Sunday was going to be a bad day because today's football day. So everybody's watching football right now, but everybody will watch the recap. I sure hope they do, because this is the best way that you can possibly make ribs. And that being said, I don't think I'm going to do a part 2 because we didn't have a big showing on part 1 here. So there's no sense in doing a part 2. Pretty much explained it. You guys all know how to barbecue. And even if you don't know how to barbecue, you're just going to char them on the grill is all you're doing. So a medium to maybe 3/4 heat. Don't turn the flame wide open. Just going to throw them on there and char them basically about 5 minutes on each side at the most. Just pretty much enough time to get your barbecue sauce on there and a little bit of char. So piece of cake, easy peasy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's probably different than, most all other methods of doing ribs for sure. But I'll promise you, you're going to never cook ribs the other way ever again. People just crave over my ribs. When I do them, they're gone in a day or two, no matter how many racks I cook. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This Van with the Van Life Biker Show. I sure appreciate you. Like and subscribe if you don't mind. And we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys.